Peace and blessings, everyone. I have Derrian Gobourne, not Derrian, Derrian Gobourne.
Yes,
And how are you doing today, ma'am?
I am doing well. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. A couple of questions.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you your journey in gymnastics, and I
Mhm.
believe you started at 7 years old. How was it?
Well, it was just kind of crazy. I feel like everything just moved so fast. Like even I just feel like I blinked and I was kind of in college and everything and nationals. But I started off in cheerleading. I was super young, loved it. But I kind of just got bored. Like it wasn't. I guess it just wasn't advanced enough for me. I don't know why I just got bored. But there was a gym like right across the street, and so one day I went in there and I looked at all the girls doing bars and beam. I had no clue what that was, but I was like, this is looks more
Right.
interesting than just flipping and doing stunts and stuff. So I was like, I kept asking my mom, I was like, can you please let me go over there? Let me just do like a tryout class. And she would not listen to me until like one day, like she was like, all right, like I'm gonna take you over there. We're gonna see what it's about. And yeah, I like after that, it just went so fast. Like I was in level 4, then level 5, and it just kind of just it just blew up from there. And I really like didn't think that I was gonna take it this far. It just was kind of natural to me. So it kind of just that's kind of how it happened. And I'm in college, and it's all been it's been a blessing. So
Yeah, it's one of those undiscovered blessings. Like you step
yeah,
into something and you
exactly.
don't even realize that it's going to change your whole life.
Exactly.
So,
Like you don't really see like little black girls doing gymnastics, especially like back then when I started. So it's kind of just like it was just an interesting thing to get into. And it was I don't know, it just took me so far, and like I said, it's just been a huge blessing.
absolutely. Uh, People often say that there are racial disparities in the sport because of the expenses from travel to training. How do you
Mhm.
think the limits of the participation of young sisters like you?
Yeah, it's really hard. And I guess it kind of just depends on when you are, but I did gymnastics at Lakewood Ranch, which is a really nice part of Bradenton, which is in Florida. So I just didn't see, I was literally the only one. And like, that's hard to come in and train and just, I wouldn't say be around, like other people that don't look like you, but it's like, it's just different.
Yeah.
Hair is different. Like at meets, like they all wanted to wear their hair the same. I obviously I couldn't because we don't have the same hair textures or just stuff like that, different body build. So it was definitely challenging. But thank God I had a mom who just let me be who I was. And no matter what, any other girl said or how I looked, I always felt comfortable with who I was and what I looked like. And I think that's why I have such a kind of amazing time doing gymnastics because I let all of this show. I know that I'm different and I feel like I let that shine out on the floor.
And that's great what you pointed out, being comfortable.
Mm,
As black folks, it's good to tell ourselves we are strong, we're beautiful people,
mm,
we're mentally tough. We can accomplish anything we put our minds to.
mm,
To any black woman listening to this, she may be going through something and she may see your words
mm,
that how you persevered and overcame adversity to
mm,
be successful the way you are right now.
mm.
Um, Vaughn Will says, DJ looking for thank you. Peace and blessings, my brother. Um, you've been a part of Brown Girls Do Gymnastics for a while. What is
Yeah.
it all about?
It's like an organization that brings together brown girls in gymnastics all around the
Mhm.
world, just to let them feel comfortable, to know that we're here, and then we see you, we hear you. We've all been through the same thing, so that's pretty much what it's about, and it's been such a blessing to be a part of. So I really love it.
That's nice. That's nice. Uh, why exactly do you call the queen of the floor? I heard may have been some other gymnastics gymnasts
Mhm.
still in that name. What is that all about? Is that true?
Well, it kind of started my freshman year. I don't know how I came up with it, but I would always do the crown. This. I put that in my floor. I put it in my floor routine, and just from there, it just like stuck with me. That was my thing, and um, you just see it all over the place. You see it in pictures. I even saw like a male gymnast doing it, which is fine. Like I have no problem with it, but I was just like, this is spreading like so fast. And I was just like, I don't have a problem with people, being inspired. I mean, anybody can be a queen to me. So, but it was just like, it's crazy how many people, I didn't know that I inspired that many people. I didn't know that many people were looking at me. So, I mean, it was dope.
And in all fairness, as long as they paid their respects,
right. I was
no
talking
way
about,
it came from.
this is crazy. I didn't know. So it is what it is.
Absolutely. I heard you may have a statue getting built in your honor at Auburn. How does it make you feel?
I haven't heard too much about that, but depending on where they take that would be awesome. I feel like I can now say I am going to do more, but I can now say that I've done a lot for Auburn, being the first national champion there and just paving the way for people and gymnasts. And it feels amazing, but I'm not done yet. I still feel like I have more in the tank. So we'll see. We'll see where that takes us.
Oh, you heard that first. She is not done. She has more to accomplish. Olympics, maybe. You never know. You never know. Y'all meets are like football or even basketball games, especially when you perform it. I want to ask you the reason why for that. You think people are taking notice of gymnastics more?
Oh, for sure. Gymnastics, I feel like, has blown up, especially this year. I don't know what it is, but I feel like a lot more people know more about the sport and are watching it. We definitely have more eyes on our team because we have an Olympian on our team, Olympic gold medalist. So there's just like a lot more eyes, a lot more celebrities watching. So it's really, really dope. It's cool to see this many people getting involved in this sport.
It's a good times. I love this new era of NIL. It's not only making our people powerful and what they can do in image and likeliness, but women across of all sports I've come in contact with are telling me, I wish this was around years ago.
Yeah.
Friends I grew up with, I'm almost 30 years old. I'll be 30 this year, hard to believe. They tell me, like, can you imagine if we had NIL in 2009, 2010?
Right.
And I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but it was so brainwashed. They would tell kids of all ages that you're going to school for school. You're not going to there to monetize, and that you're wrong for getting money to provide for not only yourself and family. And I think it was brainwashing. Why do you feel the NCAA at the time had that mindset? And what has changed?
It's probably because of money. Obviously, they, didn't want you to be making money off of your name and your brand, which is kind of strange, but definitely, I think a big thing is definitely just money, money hungry. But yeah, I think I don't know why it's changed, but I love it. I feel like I can make like a big brand off of this. I feel like I've been building my brand for so long, and it just feels good to be able to make money off of my name, what I've worked so hard for. And I know the NCAA is, it's given me a great opportunity, but at the end of the day, like I put in this work, and I'm just want to be able to see the fruits of my labor, honestly.
Exactly. You know what's crazy? Some of the coaches, not all, but a good number of them. I'm gonna give you an example. Football coaches, they have these press conferences talking about, oh, that's all they care about is money. All they wanted was fairness off their name and image. Everybody having their autograph pictures, and they can't even make a dime out of it.
Right.
And commercials and etc. They can't even make money off of it. And a lot of athletes, especially in women's sports,
Right.
working jobs while going to school, while practicing. That's impossible.
Yeah. And then expected to perform. So it's crazy.
Can you imagine a young lady a couple years ago before NIL? She has to work 2 jobs, go to college, and practice. And let's say she's in a slump, and the coach is like, what's happened to you? Of course, you should know what happened. She has to work 2 jobs and can't focus on her craft. See, a lot of adults and the older generation, the boomer generation, what they got to realize is they got to start finally thinking for all and not for self.
Hmm.
Just because they're living better than others, they gotta understand to look at our lenses and to see what we see. See, this is why we have Black History Month, a
Hmm.
month where they could see how we are as people, how we have to overcome,
Yeah.
rise above the hate, rise above the despair, rise above um, the doubt. And shout out to Real Talk for supporting the channel. He says, "Thank you for breaking barriers." Yes, she is breaking barriers.
Thank you.
So, how do you feel about? I know it's a lot what I've stated, but when you think about the ego of the NCAA, not all, but most of them, how does that make you feel?
The what of NCAA?
Yeah, the ego
The
at the
ego.
time. Yes.
It makes it for me. I'm not very like confrontational, but it makes it hard to want to even produce for people who are kind of like that. It honestly sucks. It kind of makes me feel like they don't care about me as an athlete. I'm
Right.
going to school. I mean, they are paying me, which I'm very grateful for, but I'm going to school. I'm training. I have so much going on in one day, and then having to perform, and it's just like breaking my body down, and it's just like we can't even, you can't even give me like it just can't. I don't. It's hard to explain, but
Mhm.
it's just hard to want to perform for just the NCAA when you just feel like they don't really care for you as an athlete. It's really hard.
I know how you feel, and for all the people that went to college, the athletics, how about that Pell Grant? Oh, what is it? 1200, $1,500. Well, at least you got that. I was like, oh boy, that's nothing.
Yeah. Well, at Auburn, I've been blessed. I do get like a pretty good check. So I've been blessed, with that. But I just feel like with what we do, it's just like we deserve, a lot more.
Exactly. That's the key word. You deserve you the work you putting in, winning national championships. And
Right.
Jay White says, "Greatness, God bless."
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos, for the $20 super chat to help grow this channel out. Peace and blessings, peace and love to you, uh, Derrian. You were the first non-football player to get an NIL deal at Auburn. How's that going?
It's going really well. It's kind of hard when just that's like that on top of everything else. And obviously I want to talk to everybody because I want to get my name out there. I want to get my brand out there. But it can be kind of hard just with school and gym and traveling because this is like season. So everything gets crazy when you're in season because your name is being put out there. So everyone wants to work with you. And so it's actually really cool. It can be kind of overwhelming sometimes, but um, right now I'm kind of just trying to get my feet wet and really just um, be smart with my time. So.
Yeah, that's good. And I know you were being represented by booked and busy talent with people like Malachi Wyman. How
Yeah.
important is that to you to be represented by a minority talent rep?
It's very important to me. Um, Not only because we look the same, but it's just I feel like we understand each other and we understand what we go through as athletes, as people of color. So I wouldn't want to be represented by anybody else, honestly.
And
So
that's powerful. When you contact someone that's trying to help you out and they look like you, it's
right,
the best feeling in the world.
it is the best one because I feel like they have the purest intentions for me. So
Exactly. Shout out to booked and busy talent. Um, does having does having a talent rep help? Like, does it really help having a talent rep?
yes, it makes everything so much easier. It makes everything so much easier because, like I continue to say, if y'all would see my schedule, it's just so crazy, and I also have ADHD on top of that, so it's so easy to forget things. But having a talent, an agency, it's they're kind of on it, and the one that I'm with, Booked and Busy, they're so good with just being on it and opportunities here and there, but just making it easy for me, making a calendar for me so I know, okay, I have this at 2, I have this, at 3. So it's been a blessing, honestly.
Yes, and Real Talk says, is the Olympics a goal?
Um, no.
You knew so I was gonna ask.
Yeah, so for gymnastics, it's kind of different. The younger, the better. So they like want you to be at the Olympics at like 16. And that was a goal when I was younger, but I don't know, kind of there was a lot going on. I'm sure y'all have heard about the Larry Nassar. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so there's just I don't know, something just I think it was God's protection. I kept getting hurt because I was supposed to be at one of those camps, honestly. But I kept getting hurt and I ended up not going. So God only knows what would have happened to me, there. So I just ended up making a decision to go to college.
Ma'am, I truly feel that God always leads us in a certain direction of protection,
Right.
and He looked out for you that time. He definitely looked out for you. Um, I heard Missy Elliott is a fan. What y'all got cooking up? You know I had to ask.
I don't know what's cooking up right now, but all I know is that she followed me on Twitter and I couldn't believe it. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just like a really random time. I just checked my phone. And it's weird because I'm not usually on Twitter like that. But I've been like this week because of it's kind of my floor routine's kind of been blowing up. So I just kind of been checking it and it said Missy Elliott like followed you. But I just thought it was like a fan page or something. I was like, this can't be real. So I opened it and it had the check mark and I was like, I got stuck. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is real. I had to call my mom to make sure I was seeing it right. I was like, do you see what I see? But yeah, she's just amazing. She's someone I look up to. She's so creative. She's beautiful. She's just powerful. And I don't know. I have like no words for that.
Yeah, and listening to her music, she was always ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Like music videos, the
Yeah.
sign, the sound, everything was just so advanced. And um, we talk about Tupac and Biggie, but
Mhm.
all around rappers, she's up there, male or female, top 5, top 7, no matter where you rank her, she's definitely on that list, and she's
Mhm.
elite. And I'm definitely giving her flowers.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
I'm
For
not
sure.
trying to wait until whatever it is.
Right.
I'm giving her flowers now because she's a legend.
Cheers.
And last question for all those young ladies out there who are down because they haven't gotten the NIL deals or things not going their way in promotion. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I kind of was like that in the summer when everything started. I just felt like everything was like a little bit slow, and I just felt like, dang, like because that's kind of the direction I want to go. I want to work with big brands, and I've always wanted to do that. So I was like, well, this is my time, and I just felt like I was just desperately waiting. But my advice would just be just allow it to happen. If you can control what you can, which is putting in the work, doing what you have to do, I just believe that everything will follow for sure. There's always a
Absolutely.
plan, and every decision that you make is always going to lead you to something great. That's just something that I believe, and that's something that I stuck with me. And I kind of just let go of trying to control the circumstances around me and started working on me and started, putting in the work and just doing what I needed to do. And then it kind of just like everything just started falling, right where it needed to be. So that would be
And
my
the Blue Blood says War Eagle. He said great interview.
War
Shout out
Eagle.
to there was that one year I rooted for Auburn. It was when Cam Newton was there, and he brought so much swagger to college football. I was like, I got to root for that team.
For
That
sure.
was the one Auburn team I rooted for.
He's awesome. He is awesome.
Yes, it is. So, Dorian, I want to say thank you for joining the show.
Mhm.
Thank you for telling everyone your story. And you mean so much to not only our people, but young girls, young women, all women. Because sometimes media or representation paints our sisters as
Yeah.
you can't make it out, can't do this. But look at you rising, standing on top, a champion, a winner, telling them you can be authentic, you can be yourself, and still create great things. That's a
Mhm.
perfect message for
Thank you so much.
you too. You have a great day and stay blessed.
Thank you.
You too. That was Dorian Gobourne. All-American gymnast from Auburn, and you heard her message. This is what it's all about. And I promise you all, we will continue to interview and talk about the positives, especially in our community, especially in the sports world. Um, women empowerment, all these companies out there. Don't say you're part of women empowerment if you're not giving them fair access, if you're not giving them promotions. They promoted one person, Paige Beckers from UConn. But that's about it that I know of that's getting big time deals. So if you're really about leveling the playing field, you got to be what you say. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they have to get, well, everybody's getting $1 million deals. Not everybody's getting Beats by Dre or McDonald's or Gatorade. But there has to be something more. And I think the tide is turning. I think things are changing. I love this player empowerment era. It's a blessing for young athletes. And it's just the beginning. And let me read this. Real Talk says Cam was the man. Oh, he was fun at Auburn, man. Like it, I didn't understand it. They didn't like the dancing. They didn't. But I was raised on if you're good, you can brag. If you're a talented player and you back up what you say, you can brag and you can have swag on the field and wear jewelry. You can do whatever you want when you're that person. Agreed, Real Talk, a true role model. Very, very strong woman. And I promise you all, we continue on this channel, RawTruth Media, to do these type of interviews. The Blue Blood says, as an Auburn alumni, thanks for this interview. Our gymnastics team is going to be special these next few years. Yeah, I did my homework on them. They're very elite. And like looking at the fans at Auburn, they support the gymnasts. It's like it's the same way they support Bruce Pearl in the basketball team. Same way. That gym is always packed. Fern Peterson says, go Derrian, love you. She did her thing. But this is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Make sure to share this video, like this video. Peace and blessings, and I'm out.